Oh hey, don't mind me, I'm just setting up a spooky ambiance. It's Halloween, this is the prime time for heart-pounding, pants-pissing thrills. Problem is, nothing really scares me more than interest rates these days. I don't think there's anything scarier out there. Except maybe whatever's in this box. I love video games, what a great way to tell a story, and because this is an interactive medium you can replay them over and over and have a different experience each time. You can't do that with a book, or at least that's what the library keeps telling me whenever I get creative with the ending. But that said, there's only so many times you can replay your average video game before it starts to get stale. I mean, all these levels need to be built from the ground up, and even then you can only fit so many of them on the disc. But what if there was a way to have an infinite amount of levels? Maybe you could send them out over the internet and crowdsource the level design, and Nintendo, you son of a bitch, you did it. This is perfect. User-generated content. What a great way to extend the lifespan of your game pretty much for free. All you need to do is release a level editor and wait and see how long it takes your players to recreate loss. Why do I even need to do anything else when I have an infinite supply of Portal 2 levels? Hello, this is your job speaking. I quit. The official level editor is a somewhat recent phenomenon, mostly becoming widespread in the last couple generations, at least on consoles, but even on PC, support for custom content has been on the rise over the last decade or so with programs like the Steam Workshop or Bethesda's Creation Kit. And it's all because developers have noticed the community's hunger to create their own content for their favorite games. Modding has been around for ages on PC. I remember as a kid I would download all kinds of custom maps in Command & Conquer Red Alert 2, and then only play them offline because I was not good at Red Alert 2. It makes sense for devs to encourage this. A strong modding scene can be a huge boon for a game, extending its longevity and maintaining sales volume long after release. Of course, letting the general public create whatever they want comes with its own set of risks. There's always the chance that someone might create something questionable within your game that has your company and its characters plastered all over it, and all of a sudden you've got yourself a controversy. I had no idea that Mario had a freaking huge clock, but it's in an official Nintendo game, so it must be true. Companies like Nintendo walk an especially fine line here. They need to have some pretty strict moderation to ensure people can't just pop into Mario Maker 2 and say whatever they want. I mean, look at that, that's just obscene. Which is why I respect them for going for it anyway. There's a lot you can criticize Nintendo for, especially when it comes to their reaction to fan-created content, but I truly do appreciate the effort they put into creating tools like Mario Maker and Game Builder Garage, even if the latter didn't really catch on as much as I wanted it to. Yeah, I don't know. I guess if you're a giant family-friendly video game corporation with an image to protect, that's kind of scary, but I think my heart rate actually went down from all that. Guess I'll be spending another Halloween with an unpissed pair of pants. What the fuck was that?
Just kidding.
You son of a bitch, who are you?
I'm the ghost of Christmas future.
Isn't it Halloween?
Well, I gotta do something during the off-season. I'm here to show you the dark side of user-generated content. Have you ever heard of the Skyrim Nexus?
No. No!
Yes.
No!
I just said yes.
So far, we've mostly been talking about developer-sanctioned custom content, stuff that's been built within the confines of the tools that they've built. But what if we look outside their walled garden, into the seedy underbelly that is the modding community? There are loads of talented people out there creating anything you can imagine for their favorite games. Long before Mario Maker hit the scene, the ROM hacking community has been creating not only their own levels, but entire games built off the back of Super Mario World and other games. Kaizo Mario, made by T. Takamoto, released all the way back in 2007 and spawned an entire genre of hyper-difficult platformers. Kaizo games usually require mastery of the game's mechanics in order to make the extremely precise jumps required to progress. Most of them are ROM hacks of Super Mario World and appeal particularly to people like speedrunners who had already beaten the original game to a pulp. These hacks really caught on after Kaizo Mario was featured in a Games Done Quick event, and it's never been outright stated, but I think the existence of these hacks at least somewhat inspired Nintendo to put Super Mario Maker out there. That said, even if Nintendo can respect these hacks, it doesn't mean they tolerate them. Technically, fan games like this usually fall on the, yeah, that looks like copyright infringement side of the, hey, I made this Pokemon ROM hack, do you think this is copyright infringement argument. Nintendo is infamous for shutting down these projects, and while I get why they might look at some of these edgy scenes and worry about their family-friendly image, it still sucks. People put a lot of work into these hacks, and watching them get shut down before they even release is always a bummer. But I've put it off long enough. At some point we have to dig deep into the darkest depths of fan-made content, to a place we can never return from. PC modders are arguably the ones who have started the whole user-generated content craze. I mean, people have been making their own Doom levels for literal decades. Not only have games got much more complex since then, but people have been getting more and more talented at modding. I wonder what kind of amazing things they're creating nowadays. Wow, that's a lot of porn.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I can see why one might want to keep their distance here. A lot of modders are talented enough that they can basically put whatever they want in these games, a power that they occasionally use for evil. That said, there's also so much cool shit they've been able to do, from fixing bugs to new features to building entirely new games, much like the ROM hackers of the past. Despite all the weirdness, studios like Bethesda still recognize that an active modding community is good for them in the long run. They've even gone as far as to enable mods on consoles for the first time ever.
Do you see it now? The general public can't be trusted to create their own gaming content. You gamers need to be put back on track. You need the guiding hands of massive corporations to show you how to play. But I'll show you. I'll create a new world, where everybody plays the way they were meant to. Once you've joined me, we'll be unstoppable.
Hurrah! Sure, some of these mods are weird and horny, but that doesn't mean everybody's creativity should be stifled. Those ROM hackers and modders out there, they're the ones who are going to make new and innovative games in the future. Shutting them down now will only hurt gaming in the long run.
No, they violated the sanctity of the gamer-developer relationship. You can't just modify a game's code to play however you want. It's immoral. It's unethical. I don't like it. I thought I could convince you, but it seems you're just another fool that I have to deal with.
Wait, don't you see? This isn't anything new. Whether it's movies, books, TV shows, people have always found new ways to enjoy their favorite media, like writing fan fiction or joining discussions online, or even making absurd comedy sketches for YouTube. No matter the limits, no matter how hard you try to hold it back, human creativity will always shine through. Hell, the only reason you're here is because I needed a public domain villain for the Halloween special.
No!
It's because you entered the public domain that anyone even understands this reference. Just like Bethesda couldn't keep selling Skyrim to us for 13 years, you wouldn't have been able to stay relevant without the public.
No! The logical fallacy behind my crusade is causing me to disappear. Or something, is that what's going on?
Yeah, sure, f*** it.
Curse you! I'll find a way to get you, gamers! You haven't seen the last of me!
Well, that's the first time copyright laws ever worked in my favor. What do you think, Steamboat Willie? Yeah, we did kind of lose the plot today.